Well, hello, heavens to Murgatroyd, pip, pip, cheerio, what, you have tuned in to another chapter, another volume, if you will, of the Neptune Society, our ongoing Call of Cthulhu 7th edition Gaslight campaign here on the Stream of Blood. Wow, that was a lot of adjectives and game paraphernalia. Call of Cthulhu 7th edition Gaslight, meaning the 19th century campaign. This is the Stream of Blood. I am the game master par excellence. Today I am your keeper, Jared Logan, and we play games, mostly horror games. Definitely games where there's blood. And I'm so happy to present to you tonight Chapter 2 in a story inspired by Jules Verne, by the scientific romances of Jules Verne, a journey to the center of the earth type story entitled The Earth is a Box of Bees. So we've already had the first chapter. I'll recap it in a minute, but let me introduce you to the stellar cast we grabbed for this one. And I'm so excited we got all of these people. And we did a bigger cast for this one because it's a big expedition. And I wouldn't be surprised if this week or next week someone's character leaves this mortal coil. It could happen. But let's bring them in. Let's all wish them good luck in the chat. Let's give them chat. Feel free to give them tips, tricks, advice. They don't need it. They're going to do what they want to do anyway. And just, I mean, if I know some of these players jump off cliffs and just do insane shit, but feel free to interact with us and let us know what you're thinking during the show. I'm going to bring in our cast. She is the Neptune Society regular, who I think this is maybe her fourth character in this campaign. So other people have played one character the entire campaign. She's up to, I think, character number 4. She's a fantastic actress, improviser, streamer, role player, and you can see more of her gaming and streaming on the Good Time Society. Google that on your iPhone or Android. Please welcome, as the naturalist, Helen Klein, my favorite, Miss Becca Scott.
You know, the British Museum didn't want to spare me. But I said, no, there's a hot air balloon, there's a monkey man, I need to know more.
Yes, and you've already, your character's already discovered all kinds of interesting finds.
So many hieroglyphs uncovered.
You've uncovered hieroglyphs, you've uncovered new species, getting them back to London and proving it. Is that, would you say that's her main goal? Or she was also talking about perhaps curing our friend Quincy Ferrymore? What's her goal?
Important. I would like to cure this gentleman, but I would definitely like to bring a new species back, because that is when you get to name them. And that's what I want most of all, to prove myself.
Do you have a name ready? Your character's name is Helen Klein, so it'll be like
Kleinivius Rex.
Beautiful. Well, I hope that you were able to take back some sort of Cthulhu octopoid god carcass back with you. Of course, right now your character is about to have some sort of interaction with the ghost of an ancient queen.
I think it will be rather pleasant.
Okay, well, it's Call of Cthulhu, so it probably will be pleasant. I'm going to bring in our next player. We just mentioned this gentleman. He is a fantastic improviser who always makes the game really unpredictable. That's the kind of player I like. That's the kind of game I like. And I like this man as the big game hunter turned into animal, who's slowly transforming into a ape-like creature. Please welcome our pal, Mr. Zach Reino.
Now, I too have a relationship with the British Museum. They will no longer let me in, and I'll be damned if I know why.
Well, do you think it was it could be your transformation?
People say that, and there's been a lot of talk about curing Quincy, and I just have to say, if it ain't sick, you can't cure it.
That's right. It's very Victorian of Quincy to categorically deny that absolutely anything is
wrong whatsoever.
Yes,
you can take a obviously cursed man to the curative waters, but you cannot make him drink, as it were.
Well, thank you for playing the time period and the culture perfectly.
Not all of it. Some of the parts we're not going to do, Jared. Some of the parts of the time period are too problematic and too live today, and we're not going to do those.
It is true, and we like to, ignore those parts and play the parts that are fun and have to do mostly with hot air balloons. But sometimes you just run into those parts, and then we pray that we all know how to handle it.
I almost certainly will die today, Jared. I'm looking forward to whatever happens.
I know that you're going to be amazing, and I'm going to bring in our next player. This player is an incredible improviser, streamer, actress. You've seen her on Shudder. You have also seen her on her new series that's streaming, Eclipse, which I think started last night, she told me. She's been on our vampire stream. She's playing a pirate, a smuggler, a ne'er-do-well on the high seas who gets drunk and then shoots things, named Isla McGregor. Please welcome Josephine McAdam, everybody.
Ahoy, ahoy, mateys.
Yes.
That's not my accent, but still. Hello.
Hello. And we were just talking before the stream started about how you have the best backdrop today, especially for a pirate.
Yes, there's an incredibly large amount of alcohol behind me.
It's a wraparound green screen. You can't fool us.
Yeah.
So the challenge is,
green screen, dude.
What?
The challenge, Joe, is that I'll give you a bonus die every time you're chugging while you roll.
Oh God, no. My dad would kill me. Let's just say that.
You're trying to, of course, kill someone in real life on this stream today?
Right, I didn't just mean characters. I meant that Josephine may actually die of alcohol poisoning. All right, well, if you don't want that bonus die, I guess tough luck. I'm going to bring in our final two players. Yes, it's a big stream with a big cast. She is a longtime friend who's been seen in several of my favorite horror movies. She's a fantastic actor, performer, improviser, streamer, and a good pal. As Valda LaBeau, the ass-kicking soldier of fortune, please welcome Clare Grant, everybody.
Hi.
Hello. You said you're up on a mountain.
I am up on a mountain. I wanted to get out of Los Angeles, and I came to the land of no internet reception.
Well, you look great right now. You look very in sync.
Thank you. Well, while I was in the backstage area, I was on my phone turning off every single thing that could possibly access the internet from the access to the internet. So maybe that helps.
Yeah, maybe so. What can you tell? Well, you maybe don't want to tell me exactly what mountain you're on, but what range you're in, or what are you? Are you in a cabin? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm in a cabin in the Park City area up in Utah.
Oh, beautiful.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's nice. It actually blizzarded all night and all day today, so it's fresh snow.
People who don't live in LA don't realize that we are like, yay, a blizzard.
Yes. I haven't forgotten what it's like to not live in the land of 72 degrees at all times.
Also, I always feel like the news, like my mom's always like, the news said LA is really bad right now. There's a fire and an earthquake and a higher COVID rate and everybody's dying. And I'm like, tell everyone back home it's a paradise and they're such peons for not moving here. That's what I always say.
I tell everyone that, it's a disaster over there. And every day you don't know what's going to happen next. And there's really no point in coming. Just stay where you are.
It's stay really, there. They say our population is as high as it can get. So don't come.
LA sucks. It's the worst. So you're better off wherever you are.
Well, I hope you're enjoying yourself tonight wherever you are and you're having your drink, your beverage of choice. I'm going to bring in our final player. This guy is not just a player. He is not just a great actor and a great comedian. I would really highly recommend listening to his comedy albums. But he is also a game master and a game designer. I have played 3 of his games that he designed, and they're great. Please welcome, as Ian Pembly, the tomb robber and owner of the Eye of Mordigian, a jewel that tells the future, Mr. Andrew Orvedahl.
Thank you.
That's the best way to handle an over-enthusiastic intro is to just be like, okay.
Ready.
Throw
You're
curses
so good
at
at the intros. Thanks for having me, Jared.
No, can you tell I've had just a mound of cocaine before starting tonight?
Oh man, the game master's secret, right?
That's right. The game master's little helper, we call it.
Yeah, I had a full strength Dr. Pepper earlier today, so that's my version of cocaine, and I am riding high. Watch out.
Well, you're going to be very unpredictable tonight then. Andrew, welcome. Welcome to all of you. Have fun, go crazy, do whatever you want to do. Don't worry about, there's really no story here. It's just a location that is full of danger. But you guys have already created quite a story, and I'm going to tell what has happened thus far very quickly. Our 5 investigators journeyed via hot air balloon into a volcano in Western Africa. And inside of that volcano, which was known to Valda, LaBeau, Quincy, Ferrymore, and our friend Ian Pembly, was a temple to the old Egyptian queen Nitocris. From many millennia ago, the ancient Egyptians had this god, Queen Nitocris, and she built a temple inside of the volcano. They went into the volcano. They journeyed through this temple because they know somewhere inside it is a doorway into the center of the earth, the hollow earth. There is a portal into the hollow earth here. Long story short, there were some altercations with the ape people that live down in this temple. Quincy Ferrymore, by the way, was bit by one years ago in an earlier adventure, and that bite has given him the following advantages as he slowly transforms into one of the ape-like Mangani creatures. He has plus 20% jump, plus 20% tracking, plus 20% listen, and plus 20% fighting with his claws. But we gave him negative 20% intelligence, which has not changed how Zach plays the character at all. So Quincy Ferrymore's transforming into these creatures that live down here. The other investigators are trying to find the way into the hollow earth, perhaps to earn great treasure, loot, to make their fortune, perhaps to make a name for themselves like Helen Klein by finding new undiscovered species on the earth, perhaps like Valda, LaBeau. They're just trying to take care of their friends who make terrible choices on a regular basis. I'll leave it up to them to let you know their motivations, but I will now tell you the scene that we are in currently. Upon discovering a throne room in this temple complex, the investigators saw that on one end of this throne room chamber, there was a mural, a painted mural that seemed to look like a tunnel leading to a beautiful primeval landscape with waterfalls and a ziggurat and a sun shining over a jungle. On the other end of the room was a gilded throne covered in kind of like gold plating with strange symbols on it. 2 of our investigators, Ian Pembly and Valda, LaBeau, decided to be careful. Valda, just because I think that's her MO. She's a tough cookie and doesn't jump in lightly. Ian, because he had seen within a magical jewel that he earned in his previous capers, the Eye of Mordigian, that our friend Helen Klein, played by Becca Scott, was perhaps going to have some sort of dark interaction with a spirit in this complex, and that it would take place in this very room. He saw this room in his vision. Well, he didn't have to wait long before Quincy Ferrymore, Isla McGregor, and Helen Klein all raced toward the throne as if possessed by some sort of strange psychological malady. Helen reached it first. If you recall, Becca,
well,
Helen
we all tripped over our feet, but
You
I
all
tripped
tripped over
the
your feet.
least.
You tripped, yeah.
And if I recall, for me, it was less of a psychological malady and more of a wanting to sit in the chair very badly.
Me too.
Right. Okay. So people just wanted to get off their feet, really.
It's a beautiful chair.
Well, if you think about it, you've been walking for a long time, so it makes sense. But Helen Klein did reach it first, and I will recall you to the fact, Becca, that Helen Klein succeeded in her power roll when she touched the chair, right?
Oh,
She
good.
succeeded. But upon succeeding in touching the throne, she sees this dark figure appear before her, and it seems like it's made out of pure shadow. If you ever played the original PlayStation game Ico, it looks like one of those shadow creatures, and it opens two eyes that are kind of like bright, like shining beams of moonlight that like kind of that pierce through your very mind and soul. And it stands before you, and you're not sure if anybody else can see it, but it seems very solid and real to you, Helen. And Helen, you can tell that it is reaching out to you. It's trying to communicate with you. And I'll just add one other note. I'll add that Ian Pembly, fearing for the worst, has aimed his rifle at Helen from the doorway in case things go horribly awry. So there is a gun pointed at Helen's head as she interacts with this strange creature, having succeeded at your power roll, Helen. I'm going to allow you to try to do something with this apparition before it touches you. And I'm going to leave it up to you what you want to do. You could try to move away. You could try to talk to it. You could a third thing and a fourth thing and a fifth thing. You let me know, what would Helen's instinct be in this situation?
Well, Helen, may or may not know what Becca the player suspects, that this figure is represented in the hieroglyphs, which I have studied at length. And Helen may think that this is Queen Necrotis come back to claim her throne. And so...
Nitocris, but I like Necrotis. I like that.
And so I would like to dive to the floor and bow prostrate and say, "All hail Queen Necrotis," in Bengali.
Oh yes, in Mangani, yes, and I'm sorry to correct you. I mean, the funniest thing I can think of is me correcting you on pronunciations of words that I made up. But, certainly, you are allowed to do all of those things. And would you like to add some sort of social role to that?
Yes.
Okay, that is a chance of failure, so I'm not going to make you do it. I mean, you could just take those actions, and we can see what happens.
Use my skill in anthropology to know if, like, what type of bow would be ceremonially correct.
Now that is a really interesting move, and so I will allow you to do that right now. Give me that anthropology roll. What is it?
That's a lie. I have archaeology. I would like to use my archaeology skill. Look, I'm really committed to the wrong things tonight.
No, I think that's I'm going to allow that as well, because I feel like, if anything you could decipher from hieroglyphics, it's like the kind of positions and bows people do. So I'm going to allow you to do it. What is your archaeology skill?
70, but don't make me say it aloud. Now you're going to jinx my dice.
No, I like to know. And then you can tell us what you rolled. And that gun is pointed at your head.
52.
Okay, very good. I think this was probably a pretty important archaeology roll. And so what I'm going to rule is that you not only prostrate yourself before the dark form of Nitocris, you also assume the proper level of bow and kind of obeisance that her ancient slaves and retainers would have assumed. Let me think. I'm going to ask now Ian Pembly what he's going to do.
I think I've got my rifle trained on Helen, and with my sort of sweaty, shaking hands, and I'm going to tell Valda, Valda, I'm afraid I wasn't quite forthcoming with the Eye of Mordigian. It's not just a stone. It gives me flashes of the future. And in one of those futures, I saw our friend Helen here at this very throne room with a figure that climbed into her mouth.
So there's a figure in here right now.
Can we see this shadowy figure from the doorway?
What a great question. I would say that you cannot, but here's what I will say. Everybody Nobody can see it except Helen, but everybody suddenly feels like the hair is standing up on their arms. Like they feel like it's suddenly it's dropped 10 degrees in the room, and you definitely
feel his entire upper body is hair, so it just puffs out.
Yes,
and we can see her bow. We see that she's like doing this very formal bow, right?
You do see her doing that. And if you'd like to take action, I'll allow you to do so. And that means you two, Isla, or you two, Quincy. If anybody would like to take an action when you see Helen doing this, you may do so. Yes.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Is there a mechanic in this game for trying to shoot something very, very specific?
There is a mechanic in this game for trying to shoot something very, very specific. What are you trying to shoot?
Helen's right earlobe.
Give me.
Why?
I just want to say I'm sorry for whatever happens. Give me
if I miss, I don't.
She's not a mechanic.
Give me an extreme.
If you roll bad, you shoot me in the head.
Give me an extreme rifle, firearms rifle roll. An extreme, meaning it's 1/5.
No way. No way. I'll make my skill is.
This is how you say.
Well, you took a moment to aim, didn't you? And you're not that far away, so you can add a bonus die if you'd like.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Oh God.
Hey, I feel like
I roll to see
People,
how
wait. I just want to.
still I am. For give him another bonus die.
No, I'm not going to give him any more than that. But if anybody else wants to act, they may. And I think it's clear that Ian is doing this because he's had the gun up for a moment. So I'm not prompting anybody to act. Maybe your character would go, "Okay, buddy." But there it is.
Valda just wants to keep looking around the room to see if there's anything that looks dangerous.
We see him pointing the gun. Well, I guess that's what I was, do we see him pointing the gun towards us?
Isn't he behind us, right?
He is. Yes, you guys are kind of over on the other side of the room from where he's kind of in the doorway pointing it at you. But I'd say, he's behind you, but I'm going to allow you just so that PvP isn't just blowing people away without a chance to react. I'm going to say that you can notice that he's doing that.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Sorry. I trust you, buddy.
Quincy, go ahead.
Sounds like we're letting the shot happen.
I think I wouldn't notice the shot because I was actually wondering if while she is in a bowed position, if I might be able to pickpocket Helen Klein.
Wow.
Helen.
I also shoot Helen Klein in the back of the head. Right now. No. What is happening?
Poor Helen Klein. Yes, you certainly may. Isla McGregor, you certainly may. And Quincy Ferrymore, are you just still running toward that throne, trying to get your hands on it, or do you have another action in mind? Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Quincy Ferrymore. Did you have any other?
I think based on the fact that we had just tripped, I honestly don't think I would notice him pointing a gun. I think I would shout at him to stop if I did, but I don't think I would just see it.
Valda, do you want to?
Okay, here we go. Let me have that roll. What is your 1/5 skill, Ian Pembly?
I already rolled. It's an 8, which I did not make. I did not hit an extreme, but I could use luck to bring it into the hard range. And can I do that to ensure that it shoots wide to the right instead of inside to the left?
Well, I think you should. So go ahead and you fire. Your bullet does not pierce Helen Klein's head, nor does it pierce her earlobe. A shot goes off in the chamber. It makes everybody's ears ring. Valda, LaBeau, you're kind of feeling around. Is there some other kind of secret here? Some other kind of move you can make? And Valda, LaBeau, make a spot hidden for me. Quincy Ferrymore, you reach the throne, and when you reach the throne, you may make a hard power roll. And my friend Josephine McAdam as Isla McGregor, did you make your sleight of hand roll to pick her pocket?
Not yet, but I have now, and it's a success. But if you meet it, is it a success?
It is, yes. So, what would have been in Helen Klein's pockets? Helen Klein does have an inventory. I can choose from it randomly, or I can let Helen Klein have a little power over this since it is a little PvP. What would have been in your pocket, Helen?
I don't deserve power over this. No, we've got 400 pounds of cash,
Well,
a portable library, specimen case. Just don't take my magnifying glass. That is my one possession I care more about than other things in my backpack.
I think that I was going to say, I don't. If there's unless there's something like outwardly shiny on display, I was going to go for any extra bullets or your gun because mine's almost out.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to allow that if it's unless anybody has any anything to argue. I'm going to allow that you have pulled Helen's gun, her pistol, from her holster, Isla, and yeah, you have it with 3 shots left.
I'll even replace it with my own. A little.
Okay, perfect. You have a Beaumont Adams as well?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
You just got Indiana Jones guns.
Quincy Ferrymore, how did your power roll go?
I missed hard by 9, and I can push luck by that much, can't I? Just not.
Yes. Would you like to?
Well, did you say we got luck back before the last adventure, or sanity back?
You know what? You got luck
We
back.
got luck back.
We got a lot of it too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you should have like quite a high luck right now. Would you like to spend?
Yeah, absolutely going to spend 9 luck.
Okay, very good. And so instead of something really quite terrible happening to you, Quincy Ferrymore, when you touch the throne, you, like Helen Klein, suddenly see this dark, shadowy female form standing over you. And the final action I will allow is for Valda LaBeau's search to resolve. And Valda, how did you do on your spot hidden?
I was 2 over, so I pushed my luck.
Very good. All right. Everybody is using up their luck here. We haven't even made it into the Hollow Earth. Maybe we won't. But I like that people are going aggressive using that luck. And what you find, Valda LaBeau, is a mirror. A mirror, it's gilt around the edges, but the surface of it is clearly made out of like some like red gem that has been shined to the point where it's reflective. And it was sitting over in like some dust and detritus in the corner of the room. And I'm just going to say one last thing about it. When you lift the mirror a little bit, when you find it, you see the reflection of this dark figure standing at the throne over Valda and Quincy. And now I'm going to keep going in turn order, kind of like we have been. Miss Helen Klein, you have bowed. Oh, I think that this thing will react now. This spirit will react. And it says, you hear a voice in your head, Helen Klein. And actually, Quincy, you would hear this voice in your head as well. Echoing through your thoughts, you hear a voice say, loyal slaves and retainers, has the time come? Has the time come when the sun has been extinguished to rise out of the ground and once again walk the realms of men?
I don't think so. No, right?
Well, honestly, if you want it to be, we could
put out the sun.
I don't think.
No, the sun's very much still the sun.
It is the sun, yes.
And because this happens in a matter of seconds, in a matter of moments, because it's a telepathic contact. The form now bends down to Helen Klein and sort of like briefly puts its hand against her head, and you see those 2 eyes of light kind of looking directly into your mind, Helen. And it says, yes, this form pleases me.
No.
And then it reaches its hands back. And yes, of course, Valda LaBeau, you can also see this. It's sort of trying to reach into Helen Klein's head.
Can Valda just like take that mirror and run as fast as she can and put it in front of Helen's face?
Oh, I love that. Okay, yes, absolutely, you can. Also, I'm gonna say that's gonna be Valda's action. Other people, let's get your actions. Helen Klein, what are you going to do? Okay.
My liege. And I'm going to kiss her and maybe invite her soul to embody my body. Because what?
Oh
I
no!
just can't imagine
Oh,
how
no.
Becca's
Pull that
she's
shot.
dying.
The only thing better than getting recognized in a museum is being in the museum.
Great. Yes,
It's a passionate kiss
Clinton
for
Trucks,
me and
you
the
should
Shadow
do
Woman.
that. Secret Keeper Clinton Trucks, you should do as you are suggesting. And Quincy Ferrymore, what would you like to do?
I see her like reaching towards Helen, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I would sort of like to push Helen, like very awkwardly. It'd be like if you had a drunk friend going to kiss someone, is what this lady is doing. I'm gonna sort of like, no, and sort of like hand on Helen's face and sort of try to like push it back. I don't like this lady.
Isla McGregor, you have a gun. What would you like to do? You have several guns.
Yeah, with with how close I am to Helen, like, am I getting any weird vibes of what she's doing?
I think so. And you know, you don't see this apparition, but you can clearly see that Helen's starting to like, you know.
Oh, yeah, she's making kissy face in the air, right?
She's making kissy faces at the air.
Well, I might place myself in front of her as well. Like,
Okay.
oh, hello, darling.
Ian Pembly, I should have described your shot more in detail. You've blasted a chunk out of that gilded throne, and Helen didn't even like turn back. Like there's a shot. Like clearly she's in some sort of trance, right? So what would you like to do?
I have upgraded my rifle from the last expedition 10 years ago, so it no longer takes me 4 turns to reload. So I will chamber another round, which I think takes 1 whole turn, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Cool. Yeah, I'll chamber another round in.
Ian Pembly begins quickly, you know, trying to get a shot into his gun. Helen Klein prepares herself for godhood. Quincy Ferrymore and Valda LaBeau are both going to make a fighting brawl roll for me to put Helen out of the way and Valda to put yourself in the way. And I'm sorry, Isla, you're doing the same thing. So could I have a fighting brawl roll from Isla McGregor as well?
Okay,
That's hand to hand, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm sorry, I say brawl, but I mean hand to hand.
That's okay. I don't see.
And this is I don't know if I made it to try and kiss Helen.
What's that? You're trying to stop her from kissing, right?
Well, by just placing myself in her path of said kiss.
You are perhaps kissing her yourself.
That's correct.
Kiss fight!
All right.
Still fighting brawl, or would you like?
We promise excitement on this stream, and we always fulfill our promise. But let's see what happened with all these brawl rolls before the hanky panky starts in this ancient temple. How did you do, Mr. Quincy Ferrymore?
47 under 60.
Very good. And how did you do, Isla McGregor?
Nope. Bad. Like 93. Bad.
Okay. Great. And how did you do, Valda LaBeau?
I got 24 over my 55.
24 over. Okay. Very good. So here is the situation. Quincy Ferrymore, you managed to push Helen Klein to the ground. Isla and Valda like try to get themselves in the way of this force or this apparition, but they're unable to do so. The connection is broken, Helen Klein. You suddenly are you're not quite seeing her as clearly. Quincy is like broken the connection by jumping on you like the animal that he is. And so now as Ian Pembly loads his next shot and Isla McGregor goes in for a big old smooch, but isn't quite able to get herself in position. The creature, the being, the apparition acts, and it will act against Quincy Ferrymore because he is the one who pushed himself into the way.
Never happened before. Never been in harm's way before.
what you must do for me, my friend, is you must roll your power now.
That's 42 under 55.
Oh, okay. Let's see. This is oh my word, that's pretty good.
I'm not many things, but I'm a little bit powerful.
Yeah, you are a little bit powerful, and something strange happens, which is that you now do.
I'm also a god.
So, yeah. So,
no.
you can feel yourself, push yourself into the way, and this being tries to siphon like energy, power out of you. And when it does, like you just kind of hold, like you kind of like resist it, and you can see that you kind of siphoned a little bit of energy off of it. Like it gets like a little more faded. It's doing the emperor hands to you, and you're just kind of like taking it, and it's like losing a little bit of energy. And now, Ian Pembly, you have a shot in your gun. Valda, LaBeau, you are so close that you no longer have to roll. You can just put that mirror out there if you'd like, but let me know if you'd like.
That's what. No, that's what I want to do.
Okay,
Yeah.
Isla McGregor, you can kiss Helen Klein without a roll now. You are in position.
Well, at this point, she's been pushed out of the way, and it's a bit awkward. It doesn't feel right.
Ruined the mood.
Yeah.
It ruined the mood.
Can I just sit in the throne?
Yes,
No
you
one's
may.
going to. Okay.
You certainly may. And then Quincy Ferrymore, you're kind of you're going to kind of be locked in this struggle. I mean, is there something you want to do when you're kind of locked in this mental struggle with this being?
Yeah, I have its power now.
You have a little bit. You've drawn off some of its power. Yes.
Good,
Yes.
I'd like to use that.
Okay. Understood. Give me yet another power roll. And Helen Klein, you've been pushed to the ground by Quincy Ferrymore, who has just ripped you cruelly away from the godhood that would have been yours. What would you like to do?
So Quincy is holding the thing back with his bare hands?
He seems to be,
Okay.
he seems to be engaged with it. Yeah. Yes.
And
Physically.
does he have a knife on his person?
Yes, certainly he does. Right.
Almost
I think-
certainly.
Let me see. He's a big game hunter. If I didn't put that on the sheet, what a silly boy I am.
I have a bayonet attachment to a rifle. But I don't
There
think
it is. It's. I think we can rule that it is like somewhere on his belt or something.
Okay, so I pull the attachment off his belt, and as I reach for the shadowy black figure with my left hand, my right hand plunges the bayonet into my own gut.
Becca's got somewhere else to be. Becca's just like, it would be great if I could be out of here by 7 tonight. No, that's of course completely okay.
I want to be a queen!
So let's resolve it like this. In Call of Cthulhu, you always do gunshots first. Are we shooting anybody, Ian Pembly?
No, just to confirm, I still can't see the figure based on where I am in the doorway.
You
All
cannot,
I
I'm
see
afraid.
is, like, it looks like there's like a kissing fight, and then Ferrymore's like battling with nothing, and Helen has stabbed herself. Cool.
Yes.
I think I will. The floor hasn't dropped out of the room yet, so I will timidly make my way into the room with my gun kind of trained on this action. But I would like to look around the chamber and just like take it in. Is there anything else of note?
Really, that
Industry.
painting, that painted, that kind of like, hieroglyphic of that landscape, it occurs to you that your spell, I'm not even going to make you roll intelligence for this, which opens the gate to the inner world, might have something to do with this painting in front of you. The spell that you learned. You learned from the hieroglyphics a spell called Open the Gate to the Inner World.
That's right. And I think that this could be the painting to do it in front of.
It seems like there are a lot of matching hieroglyphics to the ones that you just read, and it literally looks like someone has painted a gate onto the wall.
Is there anything foreboding about the painting that might give me pause to open
Almost everything about it is foreboding. It's in a temple, in a volcano, and there's a ghost currently trying to possess a woman who's committing seppuku. So, I will allow you to. I think that's your turn, if that's okay. You walk up and you kind of look at it, and you realize it's connected to the spell. And now we are going to go to, I think, Valda LaBeau, because you were right there. Valda, you putting that mirror in the way.
Yes, right in front of her.
Give me a hard power roll.
Hard power roll.
Yes, so half of your power for you, my friend Valda. That is 45.
45? Rolled a 25.
Oh my god.
Valda, that's kind of incredible, because this apparition, which has a very high power, rolled extremely high. She rolled a 96. And so what happens is suddenly, Valda, you can see the thing in the mirror right before you put the mirror up to it. And then it's like a battle of wills, and you sort of rip this psychic presence away from Quincy Ferrymore, and you're holding your mirror. And for a second, everyone can see like this, like a mummified queen with her like wrinkled, like desiccated flesh, like scream for a moment, take on like, a visual form. Her shout echoes through the temple complex, and then she goes into the mirror that you're holding. At that moment, Quincy Ferrymore, you no longer, okay. Quincy Ferrymore.
This is going to work well.
Okay. What were you going to do? I don't want to stop you.
Well, I think Quincy was like trying to Dragon Ball Z amass this like power in his hand, like he's Goku, and then throw it at someone, but he rolled extremely badly. So I assume that when the power all got sucked away, it just left him as well.
I think it sounds like it might have. So, yes. So he's, he tries to Goku it, or he tries to like do magic, and nothing happens, right?
Yep.
Yep. Great. That's pretty hilarious, though. And also, I think that it sounds like he's trying to learn magic. So check your occult skill, because perhaps later Quincy Ferrymore will actually have accidentally picked up a couple things about the occult. Helen Klein. First, Isla McGregor, you do sit on the throne, but you are suddenly aware that whatever presence was in this room that was perhaps manipulating you is gone. Helen Klein, I want you to roll sanity. You're doing crazy things, so I want you to roll sanity.
Yes. So we're watching Helen just like stab herself.
I think it's more like you guys are all like, doing all this stuff, and then you turn around and let's see what Helen has done.
Let's just be clear on mechanics. So if your character sees something, then you roll sanity, and if your player does something crazy, you also roll sanity.
In my games, yes. In fact, I'm going to make everybody that saw the thing roll sanity. So that's going to include Valda LaBeau, and it's going to include Quincy Ferrymore. But
there's no way I would succeed on this sanity roll. I mean, come on.
What is your sanity at?
54 on 39.
You rolled a 54 on a 39. Okay. Then I do think that you lose some sanity, and I'm going to roll how much sanity you lose right now. And that is a 5, Helen Klein. So now you must fail a intelligence roll, or you do something crazy. And I think we know what it is.
Crazier.
Right.
I know exactly what I did, and that's why, yes, this was crazy, but it's for a reason.
Helen Klein, please describe your weird and horrifying act of self-sacrifice. Everybody thinks that, Valda, Ian, Isla, and Quincy all think that they've saved the day. Things, it's over. They've gotten rid of this strange apparition that was in the room. And then they turn back to Helen, and what does she do?
She drops to her knees because she's losing a lot of blood very quickly. And then she says, Sheba, Nefertiti, Indubis, Musa, Mali, Mansa, Ezana, Exum. Oh, yes. Yes, that's the lineage.
She takes 4 HP, and since she's plunging into her heart, I'm going to add 1 to that. So that's 5.
The gut.
Into the gut. Into the gut. So I'm going to add 1 to that, which is 5. Is that half of her HP?
I lost 5 out of 11. So no.
No. So she's still awake, everybody. All right. This is a fun role-playing opportunity. So Helen is standing there before you, chanting in some sort of Egyptian dialect. Blood is pouring out of her abdomen. What do? Isla McGregor.
Oh, right. Okay. I've seen this kind of affliction before, and I'll make my way down. And I'll take whatever's left of my rum and bring it to Helen's lips and be like, "Drink, child, just drink your worries away, and we'll see what we could do about this, and perhaps try to stop the bleeding." I don't know.
Yeah, if you'd like to try to stop the bleeding, you are welcome to roll a first aid roll.
Okay.
Valda, LaBeau, what do you do when you see this grotesque scene?
I also would like to help stop the bleeding. Maybe rip some of Helen's clothes and around her body.
Or I can give you a bandana. I'm sure I have a scarf. Many.
Perfect. Yes, you're a pirate. Of course you have scarves.
Isla McGregor, please go ahead and add 4 bandanas to your sheet.
Okay.
You two may attempt a first aid roll. Valda, LaBeau, Quincy, Ferrymore. You just had a close encounter of the 17th kind. What would you like to do?
That was not a language I understood. Right?
Oh.
I think that she probably, she was just saying Nefertiti, Ishtar, King Tut, Rama. But I think that we can understand that to mean, yeah, I think you did understand some of it. I think you were starting to understand it. Yes.
Did anything happen after she said that?
No.
Okay.
No, because something has changed about the. Well, I don't want to give away too much, but
yeah, I think I would like to investigate the mirror that Valda just put up, and then this thing got sucked into it. So I think Quincy is a little bit like, is it in there now? Because I don't know if you all saw it, but it was extremely bad. And I say that on the sliding scale of things that I have seen in my life.
Valda, what have you done?
I've saved your life. I got rid of that thing.
You ruined it.
Did you want that thing to take over your body?
No.
You say that in a way that makes me think, yes, you did. You absolute loon.
Let me lie down.
Drink, child.
How did we do on our first aid rolls, Valda and Isla?
A 6.
Whoa.
Oh, amazing.
Wow. Great. I was 44 under 45.
That's excellent too. So first aid normally gives back 1. So take 1 for each person, but our friend Isla critically hit there, so she can check that. Because it's just such a good roll, and then she can also let's just go ahead and add like a D4 to it. Can you roll a D4, Isla, or should I?
Yes, I can.
Okay, very good.
Jared, my sanity roll was 9, so I'm okay, by the way.
Oh yeah, how did you do, Quincy, on your sanity?
Oh, I failed a sanity roll, 55 over 42.
Oh damn! Hey, Isla, what did you say? You got 3 more for her?
3, yeah, 3 more.
Back up to like I would never been stabbed.
It's perfect because this is someone you definitely want to continue on the journey with you. It seems like someone you can trust.
That's the power of rum there.
It is. It's the power. It wasn't as bad as you thought. So you lose 3 more sanity, Quincy Ferrymore, and I'm going to kind of take the camera over to our friend Ian Pembly, who's been kind of looking at this mosaic on the wall, this painting. And Ian, what would you like to do?
Yeah, I would come over. Is there any way I could do an archaeology check on the mirror that Valda's holding?
Yes.
I pieced together that the spirit went in there, based on what Ferrymore said.
Yes. So go ahead and do an archaeology check. And Quincy is also examining it along with Valda and anybody else who wants to look now. And
Yeah.
how did your archaeology check go?
It's a success. 36 under 60.
Yes. So these are the symbols of the royal seal of Natocris. She has apparently been fettered or trapped inside of an object that was important to her. And it says, in the runes or the hieroglyphs along the edge that this is, a sacred object that was buried with her to keep her spirit here until the time of, returning to the surface.
When the sun's gone dark.
When the sun has gone dark. Yeah.
What do I think would happen if this mirror were to be smashed?
Well, I'll tell you, it looks like it's made out of, your archaeology would tell you this. It looks like it's made out of the same kind of jewel that the Eye of Mordigian was made out of. So it's kind of like the mirror part of it, not the gilt edge with all the hieroglyphs, but the mirrored part of it looks like it's just a very smooth, shiny gem that has been flattened out as a mirror.
Much harder to break. This looks like your thing that you're always mumbling about while holding. Yes, Miss Pembly.
Don't break it. You'll set her free. I don't know.
well,
That's
look,
a good idea.
Look who's back
So-
to not wanting to be taken over by an elder god.
I was trying to save you.
Helen,
So
would
do you?
would you protest if Isla attempted to pick you up?
I imagine that I'm still on my knees and that you're wrapping a bandage around me.
If I scooped you up after, how would you feel?
It depends the emotion behind the scoop.
It's
Romantic in nature, or
it's-
are we just moving?
it could be construed as that. I was going to gently take you to the throne that you were so eager to sit on earlier, and I feel bad because you ended up stabbing yourself instead. And I feel like perhaps I thought it was just a fun game. And
I sense all of that, and I let you pick me up.
Very good. Everybody is sitting around or standing around rather, Valda, who's just been gently, next to Helen, who's just been gently laid into the throne by Isla. And so the mirror also gives you kind of, when you're handling it, Ian Pembly, a sort of uneasy feeling, that same feeling that you had when you came into the room. A sort of cold. It's very cold to the touch.
I don't like this object. Perhaps we should leave this here? Hide this somewhere in this room?
I'm torn. On the one hand, this is exactly the kind of thing you would want to put in a museum. On the other hand, it seems extremely bad. Yes, Valda, you were saying?
Well, I mean, I guess I kind of want to talk to Embly Ian about what exactly he told me before all of this happened. But then I would also like to ask Helen what just happened and what she's been keeping from us for this entire time. Because it seems like you're not exactly here to help our dear friend Quincy. It seems like there's some other reason why you're here.
I didn't know until I arrived, but I am here to save you all. I heard her say in Bengali that she would kill you all if she didn't have a sacrifice. As I understood it, perhaps something was missed in translation.
Everybody can make listen rolls if you'd like.
Oh, I can do that.
Make a fast talk.
Oh, I did good.
I'll spin luck if necessary.
I got an
I failed.
11 under 35.
Check that. That's a really good one. And this was an important listen roll because what you hear, Ian Pembly, while everybody is kind of questioning Helen, like, what was that all about? What's wrong with you? Are you okay? While everybody is questioning her, you are kind of near the doorway and you hear down the hallway grunts and growls. And you hear the steps of padded feet perhaps moving toward this chamber. Ian Pembly, you rolled pretty well. Ian Pembly, you think you hear a lot
Okay.
of feet.
I think we might have some company, those beasts from before, but this could be the entrance chamber to the center of the earth. Valda, would you hold my rifle, and I'll
Absolutely.
attempt the spell, and I'll hand her my rifle, and I'm
got
going to try the spell that I learned, the hieroglyphics spell.
Good idea. Make a hard power roll for me, Ian Pembly. Josephine, Isla would have placed Helen in the chair. Everybody was kind of arguing about what had just happened to Helen and whether she's crazy or not. And then the creatures from before, Ian heard them coming down the hallway in a great number. And how did you do, Ian Pembly?
I did poorly, and it can't be amended with luck.
It can be amended with a push.
Oh, that's right.
Would you like to push your spellcasting roll?
Yes. Remind me of that mechanic.
Okay, so all you have to do is roll it again. But if it fails this time, something horrible will happen. You still might intone the spell.
I think something horrible's already in the wings.
So many horrible things have happened and are happening.
I had to make a hard power roll, correct?
That is correct, sir.
I failed. I succeeded, but not on hard level.
Oh, okay. Well, it's your first time intoning the spell, so the rules do say to make a hard power roll as the casting roll. You have failed twice, failed on a push roll, and so now I get to roll on the very funny and entertaining failed pushed casting roll table. Oh, guys, this is the moments I really live for. Is getting to roll on these tables.
I didn't even know this table existed until
Yeah, I didn't know that this table existed.
Oh, it certainly exists. Here we go. Let's see what happens to poor Ian Pembly. Oh my God. Okay.
You become a very powerful wizard.
Ian Pembly, you do finally succeed. Like you finally nothing's happening, and you can hear all these monsters grunting and getting very close behind you, and it's making you very nervous, and sweat has broken out on your head, and you finally just in frustration bash your hands against the wall, and that's when the bricks all start to kind of fall inward, and the entire mosaic, the entire painting transforms into reality. Like suddenly you are falling forward through the painting into a tunnel, and up ahead, suddenly the smell of lush grasses hits all of your faces, the feeling of warmth, of sunshine out through this portal. And perhaps we can show that illustration. It appears, well, that's, there it is. Okay. Yeah. So there you see that, and you are kind of like falling toward it, Ian Pembly. But I must warn you of something else, which is that I have rolled on the failed pushed casting roll table, and you got a pretty lucky result. You got strange visions and hallucinations. And so
it's another day for Ian Pembly.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So in my mind, that means that our friend Ian Pembly, once again, the Eye of Mordigian, without him like trying to use it, just kind of goes off in his pocket, or perhaps he was holding it or something like that. And that means that he sees yet another vision, and this time the vision is of an enormous worm, like breaking the surface of the earth, and he sees many naked bodies painted with like ochre, like symbols, like painted with mud, like dancing and cavorting in front of this enormous worm, the size of the Tower of London, bigger than that. And it raises up to the vaulted roof of an enormous cave, and the front of its maw opens, and blood red tentacles spill out and kind of weave through the air. And he goes, now he's going to roll his sanity.
You want me to roll sanity? Is that what you said?
Oh, I sure does.
And I'm rolling under, correct?
You are trying to roll under. Yes, sir.
Great, I crushed it. 7 under 53.
Whoa.
Lucky you. You only
This
lose.
is old news. This is old news for old Pembly.
You only lose 2 sanity. You do not lose control of yourself. And now everybody may take an action, and I'll go around to everybody. So you have these Mangani monkey creatures that are suddenly bursting into the chamber with the throne. Ian Pembly has suddenly opened this portal to this kind of hollow earth in front of you. The monkeys are behind you, the ape men. And Helen Klein, what will you do?
Where is the mirror?
Who had the mirror last? It sounded like it was.
I handed it to Valda and suggested that we hide it.
Can I
I don't know if I said that I handed it to her, but I know I suggested that.
I assumed that you handed it back to me after you examined the ruby.
Can I clarify something that seems relevant to this moment? Is that my intention was to sit in the throne while still holding Helen in my lap.
Okay.
Right, and I would like
She's injured.
Will Pottorf, if you are listening, artist Will Pottorf, please draw that.
Classic Santa. This is a classic Santa move.
And those are the new Stream of Blood t-shirts that are available. Isla McGregor holding Helen Klein in an Egyptian throne. The website will be up soon. Yes. Okay. So I understand. And I guess that is relevant. And I will determine how in a minute. Helen Klein, it sounds like Valda LaBeau. And I would confirm that is what the deal that was made, that Valda, it was handed back to her to keep it safe. So you, I'm going to say for free, you noticed that. With a sleight of hand roll, I would allow you to try to steal it from her. Or you can take some other kind of action. What are you going to do this round?
Did we all see Pembly fall through the painting after he screamed and all?
Oh, you sure did.
And I'm going to loudly stage whisper to Isla, quickly grab Valda through the painting.
Okay, great.
I'm not going to run for myself if I'm already in her more than capable arms.
Her strong pirate arms.
And I want Valda, obviously, because she's a member of the team and all of the things that she may or may not be holding, to also go through the painting.
Of course. Yeah, it makes total sense. Quincy Ferrymore, what are you going to do this round?
I think I would jump after. Is Pembly like falling, like actively falling?
I'm
hard to say, right? We don't know what he's doing. He's just going through a portal.
I'm going to say because he only lost 2 sanity, his actions are his own. So he will have to tell me. But I bet he will not
open, to fall down. The door is open, but no one's gone through it yet.
That's right.
But it goes down.
It goes down and out, and you can feel fresh air. You can feel that, smell vegetation. So you can feel heat coming from it.
I think Quincy sort of knows the things that are coming and is not into those, and would try to like get everyone to go through that as fast as possible. I think he'd bound up to it and be like, all right, everyone, through this mysterious hole that's definitely better than whatever is coming up the other way.
Very good. And Helen has said, let's help Valda get through. Are you helping her?
Okay. I suppose I'll get up and maybe, I guess, try to scoop Helen into one arm. And I don't know, she said to gather Valda, and I tend to take things literally. So I'll try to scoop Valda with the left arm.
Sure.
Make for. Do I smell the sea? Is the sea, ocean, anything?
I love everything that's happening, but I don't know if Valda does.
Right.
Valda, what would you like to do? So everybody is basically rushing for this exit.
I say let's go. I don't just do it without,
Of course. No, I assumed as much. But the ladies are kind of like pushing you. They're kind of like, they're being very pushy. They're kind of like, go, running. They've got their hand on your shoulder, pushing you. So what would you like to do?
Well, Valda smacks the hand off the shoulder and looks at them and then runs after her friends Ian and yells back at Quincy, let's go.
Right.
Very good. And my friend Ian Pembly, because you do have control of your character, let me know if you'd like to do anything aside from like continue to, head for this exit.
I think I definitely, if I put my hands on that and it became a door, I think I definitely tumbled awkwardly through it and kind of ate shit and sort of stunned by this giant worm. I've seen a number of bad things in that jewel, but nothing of that scope. And I wipe a tear from my eye, and it's blood. I just smear blood from my eye as I get up.
Beautiful. So Ian turns to all of you. You can see that he is he's got blood on his face. But from his position, since he has kind of tumbled head over foot, he can see all of you running toward him, and he can see behind you where the Mangani have stopped at where the wall with the painting begins, right? Where the chamber with the throne begins. They've all stopped, and they're all looking in on you. Except for Quincy Ferrymore, who hears, "Brother, return to us. Brother."
Oh, it's getting sadder and sadder.
Absolutely not. We won't return to you. Can you believe it? Can you believe that they would say these things to us?
What are they saying?
You didn't hear them? They said, "Brother, return to us." They won't even come in here. It seems like they won't come up to this painting.
Go
away.
Good news, everybody. An hour and 10 in, and we have made it into the Hollow Earth, and we haven't killed someone, even though one of the players tried to kill themselves. I have an entire map here with all kinds of locations in our Hollow Earth, and so I will first describe to you the area you are in now. Behind you, the portal into the surface world and the temple is guarded by a lot of Mangani, maybe more than you have bullets. Ahead of you is this open portal onto, it looks like a cliff top or a mountain top, looking out over this lush green land with some kind of strange light source shining off in the distance, and a ziggurat standing on a hill, and a great waterfall pouring down the side of another cliff. But in this area you're in right now, you're in kind of a tunnel right now, and I can tell you that there are little branching tunnels leading off of this tunnel right here, aside from the one that's straight ahead of you that seems to lead into another world. And so I would like to know what the party would like to do.
Everyone stop. Perhaps we should discuss options. Maybe forget about what I did. I'd like to apologize to each of you. Thank you, Isla, for carrying me currently. And I think you did heal me extremely well. If you'd like to set me down.
Certainly. Sure. Yeah.
Thank you. I do appreciate, and maybe we can talk about later.
You don't mention it. That's fine. Yes.
I think we're in a portal to multiple dimensions. Dr. Pembly, would you say the same?
Oh, I'm not a doctor, but thank you.
Wait, hold on. You're not?
You're not a doctor? A doctorate in anything. I'm using the word in the educational sense.
I guess the doctor of tomb robbing.
That counts.
No, I don't think Kim Pembly has a doctorate, although I'm sure he has a fake document. But
Helen looks kind of disgusted.
Yeah. Who has the Neptune Society sent you on this mission with? Helen. I mean, who are these riffraff who aren't all trying to sacrifice themselves to ancient Egyptian mummies?
I went to a vocational college to learn reading hieroglyphics. Before I forget, I definitely want to get my rifle back from Valda. I had her hold it.
Very good.
Oh, as I see that happen, I hand Quincy back his very bloody bayonet attachment.
Oh, that's where that went. Hold on, did you stab your...
It's... I don't blame you, Quincy.
This is not for stabbing friends. It's for stabbing those guys over there. By the way, they're not coming in, right? They're just...
No, they seem almost superstitiously afraid to put one prehensile foot over the portal.
So it didn't close or anything. It's just like an open door behind us.
Exactly, that's right.
Look, companions, I don't think that those beasts are coming in here, but I would rather not hang around too long to find out. So there seems to be a couple of different branching pathways here. I can't get the sense of how long they are, though. That's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen, though. The one
It looks
right ahead.
absolutely harmless. A waterfall, a ziggurat, nothing to be afraid of in that direction, let me tell you. Look at those peaceful people on the shore dancing about.
And in fact, we did say that Helen Klein had read some pottery shards that told of an ancient city called Geharn. And Helen, it would not require an intelligence roll for you to perhaps ascertain that that ziggurat is Geharn, the city of legend.
Well, let me just say a few things. Valda, you are in possession of the spirit of Nitocris, so please be very careful with that item. And perhaps, my personal vote would be to go learn more of this being that was so powerful. Yes, well, anyway, everyone's entitled to their vote, I say.
Miss Klein, Miss McGregor, do you mind if I take a moment with my two compatriots?
No, not at all. We've
Actually, Miss McGregor, you can come too. Miss Klein, could you go stand over there for a second for me,
I'll just
please?
go for a walk, and I'm gonna go like right up to the ziggurat landscape and just like see if I can put a hand through, see if it's permeable.
I will deal with Helen's action first. Helen, it is completely real. You are in another environment high above you, in kind of like a faint haze, like a luminescent haze. You think you see hints of maybe a ceiling to an enormous cave, but ahead of you, there is what looks like a verdant. You have paleontology, you have archaeology. It looks like it might be like a verdant Mesozoic landscape. And you see flora and fauna that haven't been on Earth for millions of years. One last thing I'll tell you is it looks like you are on kind of a cliff face, like at the top of it. You could climb down into what looks like a very lush valley filled with trees and all kinds of plant life and animal life, or you could move kind of along the edge of the cliff, stay up at this level of altitude, and it looks like there are some like kind of like grassy hillsides and hills and like kind of little cliffs to kind of move along to the north east.
I whistle to, cover up so they can talk about me as I'm looking.
What? I mean, how very kind of you. Let's go ahead and make sure that this is just a meeting between these three.
Oh.
And go ahead and say your piece. Who called the meeting? Oh, Quincy. Go ahead,
I
Quincy.
hereby call this meeting to order. Who wants to be the secretary? We don't have time for that. Listen, everyone, here's the thing. I think we need to keep that mirror away from Miss Klein. And I think
I agree with that.
put it in our bags and then switch our bags around so even we don't know who has it.
That's not a bad idea.
Well, I might be comfortable handing it off to Ian, but I'm not sure, Quincy, in your condition, that you should be handling the spirit of the dead queen.
Nitocris. I quite agree. I don't think any of us should be handling it. So we can throw it off the cliff or bury it here, or we can keep it around in case we need to unleash a horrible spirit against something that isn't us.
What about we put the mirror directly in front of Ian's ruby?
You're saying we combine the two powerful artifacts that we know very little about.
What do you
I'm
think would
saying
happen?
they are sister rubies, and
Good.
maybe something would happen if these two rubies were given the opportunity to interact. Or I don't know, maybe Ian, do you happen to know anything about, things to do with Helen, the future, rubies?
I don't even fully understand the Eye of Mordigian. It seems to portend disastrous events, sometimes more accurately than others, but I don't know. I don't know anything about this mirror. I think we should hide it, though.
I agree.
I think it's a liability to bring it with us.
I'm more than happy to take it off your hands. I've got no interest in being possessed by some otherworldly being. I like who I am. And, you know, I've often found without fail, the best thing to do with treasure is often bury it. No one ever finds it that way. It's
Right.
foolproof, and then we can always come back to it later. I've got plenty stored that way as well.
I worry that
okay.
any of us would be susceptible to the mirror's power, so I agree with Miss McGregor that burying it is probably the best option.
Okay. Well, we can bury it. Maybe I go run off down one of those little offshoots and bury it.
Very good. And is Helen Klein trying to keep track of what they are doing?
She climbed down the cliffside a long time ago.
Oh no!
Okay. As you do you bury it easily. Valda LaBeau. You go down one of the little tributary tunnels. You're able to kind of dig up mud and dirt and rock and kind of mark it with kind of a bronzy rock.
And she's alone,
coppery
right?
rock. She's all alone. She went the other direction right now. So when
Can
you
I
return,
attempt to stealthily keep an eye?
yeah, I don't know, because she did it while you guys were having your special Helen is a issue meeting. So
Wait.
I will allow it, Isla.
No.
I will allow it if you can give me a listen roll or a spot hidden roll.
No.
Sorry.
I think she was
Yeah.
asking if she can follow Valda.
Oh, I
Yes.
understand now. Thank you, Quincy and Isla. Sorry about that. Again, yeah, give me just a stealth roll.
Okay. Oh, an 11.
You may
Which
check your stealth roll. And look, there's a lot of PvP tonight, and everybody's handling it well. That roll is so low that Isla, if you'd like, I will allow you to wait till Valda has left and take the mirror.
Wow, it hadn't even crossed my mind, Jared. I was just trying to make a mental note, but now that you have said that, I assume I've dug up many a treasure. So yes, I'll absolutely dig it up and put it in my bag.
Okay, I'm going to cut to everybody realizing that Helen Klein has started climbing down the cliffs into the lush valley below. You guys have realized it. You know that that's where she's gone. No spot hidden roll is necessary. You see that she's made it halfway down the cliffs here, which I have labeled on my map as a difficult climb.
There was like a path one of the other ways, right?
There was another. There were the tunnels back in the cave entrance here, and then there was also, you could kind of move along the top of the cliff here to the northeast, but that's no longer an option, as you see Helen Klein a speck below you, a tiny little. You can just see the khaki on her, the white of her hat, like moving slowly down these very treacherous cliffs.
My God.
Well,
The most difficult way we could have possibly gone.
I know I've even got this rope and pulley system. If only she'd waited. But would we like to use this rope and pulley system I have in my pack?
Yeah,
To fall
absolutely.
down?
Okay.
So I'll rig that up.
Very good. So the only drawback, and it wouldn't even be a drawback if one of the party hadn't gone running off into the hollow earth, is that it takes a little while to set up the rope and pulley system. Once you have done that, you will no longer need to make climb rolls. You'll just be able to lower yourselves, slowly. However, our friend Helen Klein, all by herself, must make a climb roll for me.
She fails.
Helen Klein must make a luck roll for me.
I have 12 in luck.
You landed a beautiful
I haven't
tree.
even spent any.
oh,
Crit 1, baby!
Are you kidding me? That's insane.
That was a bad rock.
whoa!
Helen Klein, so you guys are all rigging up the pulley system, and at some point you just see Helen Klein's little form below there go, silently, out of your vision range, and you're like, oh God. But in fact, Helen Klein, although you fall, and you can't get a hand's purchase, you finally land safely onto like the side of a very tall tree where you're kind of hanging, and you can now shimmy down into the valley. Is that what you do?
Why, certainly. There's so much to explore. I might find a real life dinosaur.
Well, let's see if you do actually. Okay. All right. So, Helen Klein, you need to give me listen rolls.
Oh, sorry, me?
Yes, please. Listen roll.
No.
Okay. Helen Klein, you are completely taken by surprise. You shimmy down the side of the cliff. You land on the ground, and suddenly, out of nowhere, come, let's see how many. 3 very short in stature creatures. They are brandishing spears, and they are covered in a thick ochre paint that they've used to draw symbols onto their mostly naked bodies. But Helen, they are clearly not human. Their eyes glow the odd blue of the Mangani. Their teeth are sharp. Their faces are sort of monstrous. They are not human faces, but perhaps strangest of all, the backs of their legs sort of look like, the rear feet of a dog or a cat. And they brandish their spears at you, and they start to shout at you at Mangani, oh, fresh meat. Yes. One of the priests. Yes, they hold much magic in them. You will come with us. And the spears are started to level at your throat. What are you going to do?
I look at the 3 of them, and then I open my mouth as if I'm about to say something in Bengali, and then I take off running towards the beach as fast as I can.
Okay. I love it. They take off after you, and now let's go back to the rest of the party. You guys have finally rigged your
amazing
pulley and
open
rope
pulley system you've brought here. Where on earth did you find it?
How handy.
Always come prepared. Although I'm a bit concerned that Helen dropped off the side of the cliff face here.
Extremely concerned, but if we don't, I'm very good at climbing. I could just go down, but it feels like now that we set up the rope and pulley system, we should use it, right?
Why take chances?
Do I think that if I use that spell again, or do I have any inkling of a way to close that door behind us?
Yeah, you could try that if you'd like. You could try to do a reverse version of the spell. I normally wouldn't make you roll again to intone the spell again, but now you're doing a reverse version, so I would need another hard power roll from you.
Oh man, I don't know if I should risk it. Before I do that, I'm going to tell me if I can do this. I'm going to jot down the spell. I'm going to write it down, and I'm going to fold it up and hand it to Valda, and I'll tell it like this. This is the spell that opened up that door. I'm going to try to close it behind us, but if anything happens to me, now you have the spell. I don't know if she can utilize it, but I gave it to her, and
you've written it down like phonetically, right? Like how someone would pronounce it.
Yeah, I think I wrote it the way it actually was, and then like handy. I failed the hard roll. I made the regular power roll, but I failed the hard.
Very good. I think that in that case,
I can push it, right?
If you'd like, you certainly may.
No, fuck that. We got to get down this rope.
Do it.
Okay. I'm gonna make you lose 2 magic points. 2 magic points from your sheet, Ian Pembly, this time for just like a failed opening of the portal. You feel yourself slightly weakened, and now everybody may lower themselves into the valley. Is that what they are going to do?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. You
I'd
guys
like to lower myself down into the valley with my gun in one hand, though, so that I'm prepared for whatever is happening.
make spot hidden rolls, everybody, as you slowly kind of, use this like really ingenious climbing system that Isla has set up.
I'll go last.
I rolled a 9.
Oh my god.
Girl.
I rolled a 66. I see a bird that no one else has ever discovered.
We're doing a regular spot hidden roll, right?
Yes, please.
All right, I'm going to use some luck, and I'll make mine.
Yes, regular success for me as well.
That's good. So, Valda, I think you're the first one to spot it. You spy your friend Helen Klein like racing toward that river that is fed by that big waterfall down below that sort of breaks up the kind of jungle landscape. You guys are currently still like above the trees looking down, but she broke out of the forest, out of the jungle near to where that river is, and you can see her, and she definitely looks like she's running from something. When I come back to you guys, I'm going to assume that you're on the ground. So let me know what you'd like to do when you get there. Possibly you would need to track or just make an intelligence roll to know exactly where she's at. Or maybe you are leaving her to her fate at this point. I don't know. Let's find out how Helen's doing. Hi, Helen. Helen, you have come to the river. And I can tell you that when you arrive at the river, Helen, away from you, but it's so huge that you can see it. An enormous reptile rears up out of the water. It has a long, majestic neck and this tiny kind of head on top. And when it moves, the ground itself shakes. All of the water ripples wildly, even though it is probably 200 yards up the river. And no sanity roll for that, for it is a creature of the terrestrial sphere and not an eldritch Cthulhuoid menace. But you have reached a type of dead end, Helen, with this river. You know that the things are following you. What would you like to do?
I see the creature and I'm in awe of its majesty. I look at the water and I think about jumping in, but I reach into my waistband, my holster, and pull out my Beaumont Adams and I turn and fire as many shots as possible at the things behind me.
There is an issue with that, though. Didn't you pick her pocket earlier, Isla?
Your gun got swapped.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of an afterthought. I've been thinking about it for a while.
Yep. And nobody said that gun was given back. So, trying to protect perhaps Helen from herself, the other heroes have removed her gun. And so when Helen goes to her holster,
she has the gun. I just swapped my empty gun with it.
Oh, even worse.
Evil. You are evil.
So, if it makes sense to you, my poor Helen,
At the time,
I'm going to allow you to raise your gun and click, and then these awful pygmy creatures are going to throw spears at you.
Oh God.
I didn't know she was going to run off on her own.
That was my pretend move, which I definitely did. But if it didn't work, my hope was to jump into the water. But if they throw spears.
Great. I mean, I think I can allow you to raise your gun, click, and then use a move action to jump into the water.
That's my plan.
Let's see. Your dexterity, since you're not shooting, you don't really go first. Your dexterity is
60.
60. So you do go before these guys. So you get into the water, and I'm going to say that now makes their spear attacks hard because they're trying to throw a spear at somebody who's kind of going in and out of the water.
Oh, hold on. It's I'm pretty good at swimming, so it's going to be like a really beautiful dive.
Okay. You do a full Moana, Helen. It's beautiful. And now they throw their spears, but they have to roll a much lower difficulty. No, they miss. And so, Helen, give me a swim roll.
See, it's fine.
Can I push it?
You can. I will allow you to push this. Yeah.
7.
There you go. Okay. So what I'm going to rule is that you went under and you decided to stay under a really, really long time to try to kind of discourage them. And when you finally have to come up for breath, you're like yards and yards away, of course, from where you jumped in. You don't see them anymore.
I'm going to swim towards the creature. The big,
Very good.
beautiful reptilian thing.
Meanwhile, the rest of the party has arrived on the floor of the valley, and you know roughly the direction that Helen was traveling in. You can look. The party is split at this point. I'm not going to prescribe any direction for you to go, but if you want to follow her, I know where you'd need to go.
I think Quincy would absolutely be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we should go get her, right? It's
Yeah,
not good
for
to
sure.
have her sort of running about, not knowing what
Yeah,
she's
leave no
doing."
man behind.
I would like to attempt
Even
to.
if they're reckless.
I would like to attempt to track her with my beast mode tracking.
Oh, I think you should, and you get that plus 20%. So go ahead and give me that beast mode tracking.
Could my navigation skills aid in any way in this?
It could. I think that what I'm going to do is let you roll that as well, and you'll know exactly the direction to walk in. And between the two of you, you're going to have a couple advantages here on this.
That's a success.
But I saw which direction she was going, right?
Yeah,
That's right. And so, I'll even give a little more advantage for that. You guys are going to have a couple advantages. I'll outline them in a moment. But how did you do, Isla McGregor?
Regular success.
So, between the tracking, between the navigation, and between Valda's sharp eyes, you know that there are two parties. You know exactly where one of them has gone. You're like tracking very carefully. You're like keeping track of the 4 sets of footprints. You know that and by the way, it looks like hooved feet. The two that are moving on 2 feet, hooved feet. They have moved up along the river to the north. And you also notice where it is clear that Helen has jumped into the river. And also with all of those advantages, you cannot be seen right now. You've kept to the jungle cover. This other party that is hunting her, you can tell that there's no way they could have spotted you or know that you are behind them. And so I ask you, what is your next move?
I think I dropped the pistol right there too when I.
Oh yeah, that's great. Oh man, I should have known. Yeah, so one of you can kind of do the movie scene where you go.
and we never are we at the beach now already?
You are at the beach.
Okay, and we didn't see hide nor hair of the things that we're chasing.
You haven't seen them, but because of your excellent tracking, Quincy Ferrymore, you know where they're at. They've traveled north up the side of the river, and you guys are undercover. But you think that under cover of the foliage, but you think if you watch for a moment, you might see them traveling up along the river there.
Are there any boats nearby? Makeshift?
There are no boats here at present.
We're going.
How wide is this
Can
river?
I-
Sorry if you described it.
I have not actually, so I should. This river it's pretty wide. I mean, like swimming across the width of it would require a swim roll, and it would really wear you out. You wouldn't be able to do much after that. The current isn't extremely powerful. It's traveling from the waterfall is north. The creatures have headed north along the beach. And the water kind of flows down toward the spot that you're at.
And we don't see Helen.
You are sure that she's jumped into the river, and if you'd like, you may make a spot hidden roll now.
I would like to look for her.
I would like to look for her too.
Go ahead.
Ooh, that's a 13.
There you go.
You did it.
That's an extreme. Well, no,
Check
wait,
that.
that's
Check
a
that bad boy.
hard
And
extreme.
no, that's quite all right. Sometimes two people. Did you get it as well, Valda? Did you succeed?
No, I did not.
Okay, so Quincy Ferrymore, what draws your attention to Helen is this enormous behemoth, reptilian behemoth. Once again, rise. It's like 300 yards away now up the river. It rises up out of the water, and you can just see in like the wake from it, like Helen kind of like slapping at the water, like headed toward it.
I was really hoping I was writing it at this point.
You're not going to believe this. On the other hand, you all might absolutely believe this. It does appear that our friend Miss Klein is swimming towards the gigantic river monster.
Of course she is.
Of course, because of course she is.
Yeah, it tracks. That tracks.
Well, so obviously we should swim after her, right?
Okay, in I go diving.
Oh, people are going to swim after her. I love it.
Is there a way? Is there a way to get near her without?
It would be hard. She's kind of in the middle of the river because she decided to swim and kind of hide from her pursuers. So in order to like get to where you can get within melee range of her, for example, it would be tough. Now, if you wanted to move along the beach on this side of the beach, you would be within, say, range of her with a weapon or perhaps a rope, something like that.
Within shouting range, yeah. I think I'd like to run along the riverbank and be like, "Excuse me, Miss Klein."
Okay.
Hello?
I'm going to rule that if you are running along the riverbank and you want to say, "Excuse me, Miss Klein," that she can hear you and she can respond if she'd like. Well, let's ask my other players what they want to do, and then we'll come back to Helen's close encounter with a Brachiosaurus. Valda, LaBeau, what would you like to do?
I would like to look around and see if there's anything that I could fashion, like any like branches or anything that looks that it might float, that I could like maybe attach a rope to it and throw it out there at her or something.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to require a natural world roll for you because I feel like there's a lot of like old logs and things that could kind of float. So if you want to start, but I do think that fashioning something like that would be 2 actions. Is that okay? So you use this round, and if there's a okay, great. So Valda starts, getting something that you could throw out to Helen, and Ian Pembly. What would you like to do?
I think Ian, being by far the most out of shape member of this team, I'm sort of like lagging behind, and I'm going to stop against a tree and sort of like catch my breath, and then just out of like habit, when I have a moment like this, I'm going to retrieve the Eye of Mordigian from my satchel and look into it to see that we're in this new land, what it might tell me.
Very good. Make your power roll, and Isla McGregor. Are you swimming after Helen?
It seems natural to do so, yes.
Very good. Give me a swim roll. And so I will go back through. Quincy, I'm going to tell you what happens to you running along the beach going, Miss Klein. Valda, Valda, no roll necessary. You start fashioning your rescue rope. Ian Pembly, how did your power roll go?
I succeeded. 53 under 60.
Wow. So you are instantly hit with a vision that hits you like a ton of bricks. And what it shows is these strange pygmy creatures with the kind of like frosted over blue eyes of the Mangani, sharp teeth and snouts, and sort of hoof-like feet. In loincloths, moving up to where Quincy Ferrymore is and throwing spears at him, and the spears like going through his body. And then as he kind of falls from them, suddenly his face rises again as a horrid, completely feral and not at all silly beast. Isla McGregor, how did yours? Oh, by the way, Ian Pembly, make a sanity roll.
Uh-oh. I failed.
Uh-oh. 4 sanity from your sheet, please. And the good news is you do not go temporarily insane, so you can communicate what you've learned. But, I mean, Ian, do you really even have time? Isla McGregor, how did your swim roll go?
Am I allowed to push it?
I'll allow it.
Oh, shit. Nope.
Isla McGregor, you're swimming against the current. You've lived your whole life on boats, so perhaps you're more used to the ocean and not a Mesozoic river. Regardless, the horrible fate that befalls you is that the spears that were going to go straight at the shouting and waving his hands Quincy Ferrymore now go at you. The creatures spy you, splashing about in the water after Helen. And because you are in the water, I will make it a little harder for them. No? Yes. All right. Let's see how much that
You
is.
guys were carrying.
I
on.
assume there's no dodge involved with this since I'm flailing
Yes.
in the river.
You could dodge this one, and then there's one more coming at you.
Mermaid dodge.
Oh, it's going to be hard though because you're in the water.
It's fair. Nope.
I'm so sorry, Isla McGregor. A spear pierces you. It does 6
Oh my
HP of damage. Is that half of your HP or more?
Absolutely. Yes.
Make a Constitution roll for me.
Oh no.
Oh, totally passed. Hard success on Constitution.
Great. You stay conscious and you don't take a major wound. And here comes the final spear.
Oh no.
Oh dear. Oh, dice are going everywhere. It's complete chaos. That one is a miss because they are rolling hard to try to get someone who's half covered by water. But perhaps enough damage has been done. Miraculously.
Where did it hit?
I think it went right through like the side of your torso. And you don't even know. I mean, we're just getting started with what's bad about that. Meanwhile, my friend Helen Klein, you are approaching an enormous behemoth of a bygone age. What do you do?
Things that Richard Owen has described. It's like in the Galapagos, and Sir Charles Darwin. He's written of such things. But this, I bet it's an herbivore. I bet it has 52 teeth and can live up to 100 years. But that's not yet been discovered. I could be the first. And I keep swimming.
Yes. Are you trying to climb onto it, or are you just kind of observing and enjoying it? What are you doing?
I want to go up to its tree trunk of a leg and stroke it and observe the texture of its leathery skin. And if it doesn't seem to notice me or mind, I'm going to try and climb it like a tree and shimmy up and maybe get on this thing's neck.
Very
But
good.
I'm not good at climbing. I wish. Where's Isla when you need her and her contraption for climbing up things safely?
Well, don't worry. I don't like to do single Jeopardy climb rolls that instantly kill you. I give you luck rolls and every other thing so that people don't get punked by a climb. I'm looking on your sheet for something you could do to kind of gauge the safety of this endeavor. What's a natural world would do nicely.
Oh yeah, we got it. Just normal success.
You realize as you touch your hand to the thing's enormous tree trunk of a leg that this is a extremely foolhardy thing to do. The monster moves quickly and is gigantic. And in fact, begins thrashing in the water, not even noticing you in a way that is dangerous. However, your natural world roll has warned you ahead of time. So you may take an action instead of having to, dodge versus damage. You can take a free action because just kind of climbing on the thing might be kind of dangerous. You can still attempt it, but it's likely going to maybe roll to accidentally stomp you.
She realizes the folly of her ways and does like a fall backwards into the water and sort of like starts swimming. Does the butterfly? Backwards as fast as possible.
Okay. She gets out of range of the thing, and Helen is now, on a lazy river ride, just enjoying herself in a primordial milieu. And then we go back to the awful problems our friends are having. So let's see. Where should I start? Nobody's really shooting yet. I'm going to just go Quincy Ferrymore. You notice the creatures jump out of the woods and throw spears at your swimming friend, Isla McGregor, and you notice that they get hurt. And Quincy Ferrymore, what would you like to do this round?
What's the terrain between me and them?
It is, you know what? I'm going to say for you, it's movable with a dex roll.
But I'm just saying, is there anywhere that I could post up shoot at them with a rifle, and then take cover from spears.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think that you can definitely post up easily and pull your rifle. Actually, you probably already had it out, right? You guys all said you were armed and running along. So I'm going to allow you to kind of post up and take a shot at one of them. And that is what you will do in a moment. Valda, LaBeau, what are you going to do? Oh, you are going to take another round to kind of get something to save your friends, like to throw out into the water. And at the end of this round, it will be complete, and you can start using that. In Pembly, you have just had a horrifying vision that robbed you of 4 sanity. What would you like to do now?
I'm going to put the Eye of Mordigia back in my satchel, and I'll sort of fumble my way along the riverbank as I bring my rifle up to bear, trying to catch up with my group.
Very good. Isla McGregor, I want you to make a Constitution roll. And then your swim rolls are now hard if you would like to go anywhere. What are you planning on doing?
I think I will. Oh, fun.
We're dropping dice.
Okay, well, first of all, I failed the Constitution roll, so maybe that changes everything. Can I push that or no?
I'm gonna allow it. But you got to tell me why you might be resistant to poison.
Oh, I've put a lot of shit in this body.
Oh, that's right. That's
drinks it constantly.
Yes. Well, then you may push that roll, and of course,
we have a lot of
fail
fun
again.
Stream of blood, but you have to know that alcohol is poison when you put it in your body in any sort of capacity.
And drinking lots of alcohol also sometimes makes you immune to deadly poisons used by troglodytic foes in an inner Earth scenario. How did you do?
It's now a hard success on the Constitution.
Hello!
Hard liquor success.
That's right. What would you like to do? You can
Okay.
move, you can take an action.
I will likely, I'm going to get out of the river if I can.
Okay, in a moment, I'll go ahead and make your now hard swim roll to do that. And
in order to get out. Okay, and I'll say help as I'm doing it.
Right, so that's what everybody is going to do, and now it happens. I'm dealing with Helen as kind of a separate scene, but Helen, if at some point you're like, no, I want to be in this, you let me know. Quincy, Ferrymore, you are the only one firing.
Me further down, so nothing I can do.
You're about to float past the poisoned and dying Isla McGregor. I'm joking. You're not about to do that, but it would be really funny if you did. Quincy, you're the only one taking a shot. You may make that shot.
Great. Ooh, that's an extreme success.
Quincy,
That's
you line up
60.
You line up your shot with these creatures who are like they all, your cry is what alerted them to the presence of your party, but they just all went immediately for Isla McGregor, which she was splashing about in the water, and they don't see you. They don't see you coming up behind them. You're kind of south of them, coming through the foliage. You post up and you fire, and 2 of them are standing side by side, and you blast both of them with your critical success. You may check your rifle skill, and you may give me your damage roll, sir. And I can help you with that if you need any assistance.
I think it's just 1d10. Do you add anything to that?
For your Brunswick rifle, I think it is just a 1d10. Yes.
Great.
Was it a 1-1 or is it just low?
It was 11 under 60. And that's an 8.
Oh, damn. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so you blast 2 of these guys at the same time, and they go, oh, yeah.
In our 3 adventures, I think this is the first time Quincy has ever successfully shot something with a gun.
This might be. This might be.
When he was in the inside of a whale's mouth when he couldn't possibly miss. This is the first time that he has aimed and hit something.
Well, it's not even 1 something, it's 2 somethings. And in fact, 2 of these horrid little monsters go down, and 1 is kind of shocked, and we'll see what he does in just a moment.
So I go, then I go, oh, hello, you didn't see me there.
And the one that is still on its feet with its eyes open kind of snarls at you. hideously and angrily. And Valda, LaBeau, you have completed your task. Ian, Pembly, you have joined the rest of the party. You are, I'm going to say, with whoever you'd like to be. Would you like to be kind of back a little bit in safety with Valda, LaBeau, or would you like to be up there with Ian, like, within shooting distance of these folks?
Yeah, I guess if I took in the scene, I could see that Isla that's a spear sticking out of her and is floating by. And I can I see Helen trying to climb the dinosaur?
See that right now. I think Helen's like so far away upstream that it's kind of hard to see.
Yeah, I've heard the gunshot ring out, so I guess I'll just kind of run up and see if I can find a target to shoot at.
Great. Okay, so at the beginning of the next round, I'll allow you to take a shot if you need to. And Isla, how'd you do on your swim roll?
I got a 20. I need a hard success. Yeah, right?
That's right, because you're really hurt.
So a 29. I'm going to use 9 luck. I can do that. Yeah.
You may.
I will use 9 luck to make it a hard success at 20.
Isla makes it to the shore. As her friends come running over, Ian with his gun, Quincy's up the beach a little bit. You just heard his rifle ring out. The creatures have failed. The one that's left has failed in any kind of morale check that it might possibly have. And after hissing at Quincy Ferrymore, it jumps back into the brush, and you can hear it running through the jungle. Now we go back to Helen Klein. Helen, you heard the gunshot. If you look, you can see that your friends are back there. Do you wish to join them, or are you continuing? And you certainly may, as your keeper, I will say, you may do whatever you like. Helen's solo odyssey.
I love it.
It occurs to me, I say aloud to no one, I have been entirely selfish in diving in to a painting come to life just to indulge my own curiosities, and perhaps I should reunite with those lousy gossips. And I'm just going to kind of let the river bring me to the side that I came in on and just sort of like, swim very lazily until I get to the edge. And climb up.
That's a great idea. This basically does happen. I'll allow you to make it to the shore as you hear the tremendous splashing and see the water of the river splashing up onto behind you. And in fact, all of you now notice that Quincy's rifle shot has spooked the enormous behemoth, which is now moving down the river toward all of you at a tremendous rate of speed. It is enormous. It's making the water like splash out of the river on either side. And in a moment, anybody who is on the beach, which I count as Helen, Isla, and Quincy, will need to make a luck roll to see if they are going to be caught in this thing's horridly enormous Mesozoic wake. So I will ask my friends Valda, LaBeau, and Ian Pembly what they would like to do. Valda, you can throw your thing out to somebody to kind of save them from this if they grab onto it.
Yes.
Who are you throwing it to?
Who looks like they're in range? Are they all 3 in range?
I'm going to say at this point we said that, Isla got back to shore. Quincy's up the beach. I think Quincy'd probably be the farthest one. Isla and no, I'm sorry. Helen would be farthest, then Quincy, then Isla. So the one who's really the closest is Isla.
Okay. Well, she's injured, so I will throw my little janky makeshift rope thing and tell her to grab hold, and I'll like yank her as hard as I can towards me.
So, Isla, if you're down for that, no luck roll necessary for you. You are saved by once again the heroic actions of Valda, LaBeau. Clare Grant once again not playing as the other players do on a suicide kamikaze mission into Death Town.
I don't understand it, but I respect it.
Pembly, would you like to take a shot at the creature or do anything else? You're not like kind of at ground zero for this charging dinosaur.
Is there any way I could help not Pembly, Ferrymore by like pointing out maybe like a
Their
rock
favorite
to
thing.
guide behind, or just is there any kind of assist I can give him on his luck roll?
I think that's really interesting. Yeah, why don't you give me a natural world roll, and you can give him some sort of advice on how to get out of a river or
Hold
something
very
like that.
still, and the dinosaur
Yeah.
phase through you.
I'll use the luck. Yeah, I succeeded. It took me 8 luck though.
Okay, so Quincy, your friend Ian Pembly is like, grab the rock right there, get the rock, get up. And it's like a place where you can get a little higher.
Sure.
And so I'm going to say that you, because of his advice, have you don't have to roll luck anymore. You can roll jump or climb instead to get out of the way of this thing.
Luck
So
luck is the thing that goes down, right?
luck goes down, and then you have to roll under the new total.
I think my luck is weirdly higher than my jump or my climb right now.
Well then, my friend, why don't you do this? I don't want to make Ian's sharp eyes do benefit you regardless. I think it's fair to let him have some sort of advantage given to you. So roll your luck with a bonus die if that is what you would prefer to do.
Correct.
And my friend Helen Klein, just straight luck, please.
No.
I pass it on the. That might be I pass.
Very good, Quincy Ferrymore. So first, Valda LaBeau throws a rope with like a log floating on it to Isla and pulls her up the beach out of the way of the thrashing brachiosaur. Quincy Ferrymore, Ian Pembly like, there, the rock. Quincy Ferrymore leaps cat-like onto a rock out of the way. Then the brachiosaur bears down on the entire party. And how did Helen Klein do?
Sonia, okay. 12 on 12.
Are you shitting me?
And all these arguments about how I should get an idea roll because she's never comes without a plan. She's not lucky, but she's book smart. 12 on 12, baby.
The enormous monster appears to crush Helen. It just rolls over her like thrashing, and it's like swimming sinuously, but it's throwing the entire river out of the way as it does so. And soon its enormous bulk has passed and the river has righted itself. And you think that Helen has definitely been squashed or destroyed. And that's when she makes this reappearance. Stands up and goes,
And the dinosaur ran away, right?
The dinosaur is in your its rear is visible to you. You can see its huge swinging tail. If you'd like to do one more thing to it, let me know now.
I have a thing I want to do to the group, but not to the dinosaur.
Okay, so
Just do once more and wave goodbye.
We are at 2 hours, and so I will just narrate one final thing, and I will say that the weird kind of blue sunlight of this strange realm casts a strange pallor on all of you as you realize how terribly dangerous it is here inside the hollow earth. And you wonder if you'll ever make it back through the tunnel back to the surface world, or if you will take anything of value from here. Ian, in particular, you are thinking of the visions you've received. Will your friend Quincy Ferrymore succumb to his feral state? Valda, you're wondering how you're going to keep any of these people alive. Isla, you're thinking, I think, about your crush on Helen. It's really none of my business. And Helen, I'm not even going to begin to venture a guess about your mental state. But now Quincy is going to do one last thing, he said. And so, Quincy, what would you like to do?
Listen, I'm a big game hunter, so what I'm about to say is very, very difficult for me. I do think we need to establish a rule as a group about shooting at the dinosaurs.
And what is that rule?
Well, that's my question, because this can go one of two ways. One, we don't shoot at the dinosaurs, or we drop everything and become the first group ever to bring back that dinosaur. Come on, everyone. Who's with me?
And so he heads off down the beach to bag the greatest game of all.
Wait, can I just take my rope and my log and just like toss it after Quincy Ferrymore?
Very slowly, absolutely.
Can I please?
You can, and
no, we don't. All right, well, follow whatever you want to do.
this is our last roll. I want Valda LaBeau to roll that. I think that'd be real fun.
Okay.
Valda, lacking the lariat skill, I'm going to ask you to please roll your throw. I think throw seems
My
appropriate for
throw.
that. And let me see what you have.
It's so bad. My throw is so bad.
Yeah, well, it's at base, but you never know.
Uh-huh. Oh. No. I rolled a 40.
Valda's lasso goes short, and Ferrymore hops off down the beach with his rifle to kill a brontosaurus. As we close on chapter 2, what dramatic questions are at stake? It's hard to tell at this point, but god damn it, we are in Jurassic Park and meeting weird tribes of bizarre chocho monsters, and I'm having a hell of a good time. Guys, that was fantastic. Thank you. That is our chapter for tonight. Viewers, come back next week for the third and final chapter of The Earth is a Box of Bees, where I promise you someone will die. I don't know how they keep surviving.
The players are trying to kill themselves.
I know.
Earth is a bee box.
This is a very this is in no way even analytical or critical. We just have 5 very different play styles on display, and it's really fun to see how they all mix together. So I just want to thank this stellar cast again: Zach Reino, Clare Grant, Becca Scott, Josephine McAdam, and Andrew Orvedahl. Follow them on all of social things and tell them that you love them and you love their performance in the show. We're going to see you guys next week. Thank you guys again so much.
Thank you, Jared. So fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, everybody.
Thank you.
They're amazing, aren't they? All right. So that's our fantastic cast, and we want all of them back for anything that we do, right, guys? Let them know in the chat how much you enjoyed every choice they made tonight, and they made some big swings. Tomorrow at 2 p.m., it's the Vampires of Pittsburgh Lockdown. And boy, we've gotten to a big episode. I know I say that every week when I'm previewing Vampires of Pittsburgh, but tomorrow we're bringing back Miss Sonia. She has returned. A fan favorite NPC and perhaps one of the scarier characters in the game is back in the story, and we're going to see how our new player, Abu Salim, aka Lucius, deals with that. So check it out tomorrow, 2 p.m. Pacific, Vampires of Pittsburgh Lockdown. Guys, Stream of Blood is also a podcast. You can find it on all the podcatchers, the places where you buy your podcasts, except ours is free. That's an advantage we have. We'd love it if you would subscribe, rate, and review it, because that helps people find it. And we have many back episodes of Vampires of Pittsburgh on there so people can catch up, when they're not able to look at a screen necessarily. If anybody has any kind of question or comment about tonight's game, I can probably take one. I do want to let you know that the Neptune Society has been gifted a beautiful, very creepy and atmospheric theme by Warbird, one of our viewers. You can hear more of Warbird's music at SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Warbird. Sorry, I suddenly had a malfunction in my brain. And our original artwork, of which there is much more. If he was watching, Will, we are going to get to every bit of that artwork you did, because he's done some amazing artwork for us this time. That's all by Will Pottorff, Pottorff. And you can find more of Will's work on Instagram or at willpottorff.com. Spread the word about Stream of Blood. We are on Twitch. You can subscribe for special emotes and special offers. For example, the adventure that you saw tonight was voted on by subscribers in a special meeting of the Neptune Society, they voted to send an expedition to the center of the Earth. And so now we have done so. And we will have more of these votes coming up in the future, as well as all the other normal Twitch subscriber benefits. It doesn't cost much. Why not sign up? We're on Instagram and Twitter. We're on Reddit. The best way to connect with us is on our Discord, the Server of Blood. That's where we have a lot of our conversations with our viewers about what they'd like to see in the future. So I highly recommend you check out our Discord. And because it is legally required by law to do so, we are on Facebook, but occasionally we accidentally post something about how handsome Vladimir Putin is. I don't know why that kind of gets in our feed when we're on Facebook, but sometimes it happens. Are there any questions, comments? Angry diatribes? Thursday, what's up? When does voting for the new Neptune HQ happen? Oh, so if you are a subscriber, or perhaps even if you're not, because I haven't received any serious entries into the contest yet. The Neptune Society HQ was destroyed, but then Lady Hypatia, played by Guy Branum, managed to raise funds for it in a recent episode entitled The Shooting Party. And so now a new Neptune Society headquarters may and will be built. If you come to the Discord, if you go to the Neptune Society channel, and you email us at streamofbloodroleplaying at Gmail, your 2 to 3, 4 paragraph pitch for the new Neptune Society headquarters. I will show your pitches to some of our Neptune Society members, some of our cast, and let them decide. Particularly, I will be showing it to Lady Hypatia, because she's the one who's in charge of this project. And we will decide based on your entries. You will design the new headquarters. But I haven't received any really serious entries yet, I don't think. People have written like one line, like, it might be cool if it was this. No, I need you to describe a detailed plan. And then I will show it to my players, and we will decide the details of the new headquarters. Special thanks to my producers and partners, Brian Baldinger and Clinton Trucks, our social media manager, Megan Arch, our YouTube content producer, Matt Moynihan. The Stream of Blood logo was created by Garrett Ross, and our opening animation is by the man you just saw playing Ian Pembly, Andrew Orvedahl. Guys, I love you. Until next time, Shub Nugurath, Cthulhu Fatagan. Bye-bye.